so excited. I feel like I'm going to forget something, and it's too important to forget anything. So I'm going to just have my notes just in case. Hi everyone. It's so great to see you here tonight, and thank you for your support of Meg and I. Wow, I just can't even believe that the time has come where I can really see this beauty in real life. And at the same time, I can't believe that tonight's already here. Thank you, of course, to Phyllis and Kidsbooks for hosting us, and thank you to Aaron and Samantha for coming down from Kelowna that represent Wood Lake. It's great to finally meet you after so many emails and phone calls. Talk Sex Today, as you know, is an expanded and revised edition of Meg's best-selling books, Speaking of Sex. The whole writing experience has been such a fulfilling one, and I've enjoyed, well, almost every minute of it, almost. But tonight I just want to take a few minutes to share some of my reflections as a first-time author. First of all, in the past year and a half, I've spent a lot of time reflecting just on the fact that Meg has trusted me to expand and revise her book. It all started back in December 2014. A bunch of us sex people had been over to Meg's for lunch, and I was literally by the door putting my shoes on. And in typical nonchalant Meg fashion, she says, "Oh yeah, by the way, Wood Lake called and they want to do another edition of my book, and I just told them it'd be better if you do it." So of course I'm freaking out inside, but I tried to be super breezy about it, and I just said, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever, just have them call me."
I got to interrupt. She said, "Yes, it needs revision."
I got in my car, called my sister. I couldn't believe this might be a possibility, but still didn't really think it would happen. Sure enough, next week they called me. Within 6 weeks, I had bought my first laptop and I was writing a book. So it went on from there. But just having Meg's trust through this whole experience has meant the world to me. I mean, she has been my mentor for all of my career. She has always offered insight and guidance whenever I need it. And so to have her vote of confidence, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So, Meg, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I also haven't taken it for granted that we've been able to work with not only an incredibly talented, but very sexually mature editor in Mike Schwartzentruber. Say that 3 times fast. His sexual maturity was demonstrated throughout this whole process, just in his openness to include everything in this book that we thought was important to include, and his excitement about it too. We had a couple debates about average penis size, and it wasn't unusual for me to get emails from him with subject lines like labia, etc. So, both he and, of course, Wood Lake have just been so supportive of Meg and I creating a book that addresses sexuality in such a positive and open and honest way. So thank you for that to Mike and Wood Lake. I so wish he could be here tonight. Another reflection, I don't mind saying that at several points during my writing process, it became clear to me that I actually don't know everything there is to know about sexuality as an educator. I was actually surprised at how much research I really had to do, mostly because when you're putting things in print, you kind of got to make sure you got your facts straight. But also, I have a lot to learn as an educator. To give you one example, writing the chapter on gender was particularly eye-opening. I pride myself on creating classroom environments that are inclusive when I'm teaching. But now I feel like I have such a deeper understanding of how seemingly minor choices in language can make the difference between a student feeling like they're actually heard and they belong, and a student feeling like they don't exist. And that is major. So I really know that I'm a better educator because of this process. I also am not afraid to admit that it is painfully clear that what I know as an educator is not always consistent with how I parent. What I do as a step parent isn't always what I know to be true as an educator. And an example of this that was glaring to me as I was writing is when we're talking about parenting teenagers. Please, some of you tell me you can relate. When it comes to clothing, for example. As an educator, I want to tell our girls, hey, wear whatever you want. Express yourself. Celebrate your body. If you got it, flaunt it. But as a step parent, I may have been heard one or more times saying, what you're wearing is totally inappropriate, go change. So I guess it's a situation of do what I say, not do what I do, right? And lastly, this book has given me plenty of opportunity to reflect on the fact that our kids at every age are smart and curious and engaging and so inspiring to teach. As you can imagine, I spent hours sifting through thousands of anonymous questions, wondering which are the few I could include in the book. And it not only had me laughing out loud, but it just was such a strong reminder of how important it is that we answer our kids' questions. They deserve answers. And not only that, but they're actually really good. They're entertaining, but they're good. And I just wanted to actually quickly share a few of my, my favorites with you. This is from a primary age student. Why do moms and dads lie about where babies come from? Why was sex invented? Here's a typical grade 4 or 5 question. What if your boner never leaves? And of course, boner is spelled B-O-N-N-E-R. Another typical intermediate question. What are the downsides to masturbation? If you have a small penis, will it affect your relationship? And another one of my favorites that was asked by a grade 7 student. When you lose your virginity, where does it go?